Thanks for joining me today, David, to talk about performance mindset, something that you know a lot about. So I guess for us mere mortals, what would you say a performance mindset is when compared to a normal mindset?
I guess the first thing to really help people understand is that what's misunderstood about performance mindset is, we can talk about meditation in the same way. And a lot of people talk about meditation as a thing that they do. So I do meditation in the morning for half an hour, or I do meditation at night for half an hour, or I do meditation. And so a lot of athletes are trying to get a performance mindset or find a performance mindset. Yet the irony is that meditation is not a thing, but it's a way. And so whether you are having a coffee with a friend, whether you are being a dad to a daughter, whether you are in a final for an Olympic medal, people go and differentiate or distinguish those as discrete moments or something different. So they'll say that the Olympic final is different from the coffee with a friend or being the parent. They are not different. They are one and of the same thing, because the human is doing something in that moment. So it's a degree of purity and a degree of depth. And if people can understand that, it changes everything about what they're trying to do, because the performance mindset is a way that people describe the way of being in a moment of pressure. And they'll try and do, or they will roll out a ritual or a performance preparation routine in order to get X. And so the process of becoming a master of that space is becoming a master of yourself. Yeah. You then enact whatever it is, that skill set's required for that context, which could be beating the crap out of somebody in a boxing ring, or it could be making a coffee for your friend. If people can understand that, you can then see how meditation, how breath work becomes massive in order to be able to release. Then hard yards work, preparation underneath that moment, so that when you come to release, you're releasing into a skill base that's been drilled and been practiced under deep, deep pressure to be able to give you what you want in that context. So if you haven't got the confidence to release what you can trust in, you're never going to have a performance mindset. You'll still have a hope, because the mind knows they haven't got it. So now they have to control it, now they have to force it, now they have to think it, now they have to see the distance rather than just have the distance.
Yeah. So I guess on reflection of that, what would you say, makes those people not just good, but great?
That the good believe that if they have a plan, it's going to give them a product. So they'll have A plus B equals C. They'll go to the gym, they'll do their sets, they'll do their reps, they'll tick the boxes. And they will believe that they have done everything they could that day to get to where they think they want to go. The difference between them and the great ones is they understand the key ingredient is the spirit that sits underneath what they do. And so the great ones, when they go and train, you cannot tell a difference between the way they train and the way they compete. You can see the difference between the good and the great when you watch them and no one's watching. Because when no one's watching and it's dark and no one can see what they're doing, there's no records, there's no videos, there's no coaches, there's no one there. But what they have that others don't have is they have an underlying spiritual space which lives at the intensity it needs to be. So not just what I do and how I do it, but what I do, how I do it, and at the level I do it. And then that, ironically, is the difference. That's what distinguishes them.
If you know that you have this in you, or if you want to develop more of a performance mindset, what would be your 2 or 3 words of wisdom around that?
So the first challenge for people would be, do you love what you do? Because if you don't, in the end, the punishment that you're having to put yourself through to get to the level that you need to be is not sustainable. And then the other part is to condition your mind to love the pain. But what I have seen repeatedly across those athletes who have been very successful as well is that they have a deep unconscious belief system that pain is necessary. But so you can see how unless you have that, you have an unconscious system, which is when pain hits, you do less, you stop. But if you have a deep unconscious belief that pain is necessary and where release sits, or where championships sit, or where performance sits, then ironically we are prepared to hurt ourselves. That exists in the best. They go harder, they go deeper. And to the point where, and why they're building a fitness base, is they will often pass out, fall over, vomit, just not be able to eat for hours because they're just so exhausted. That's the point of difference. Whereas the others will fall away the wayside. They're never going to get the depth of physical conditioning that's required to be able to be the best in the world. The others just end up being happy to be competitive.
Yeah.
I was there, I went to the Olympics. I was very proud that I went to the Olympics, which you should be.
Yeah.
But the mindset of the great ones is they've never thought about going to the Olympics. They've always thought about winning a gold medal.
Yeah.
So it's completely different.
Wow.
Totally. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. I think that was really insightful, actually. Really quick conversation around performance mindset.
Yeah.